Hello, this is Katie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if it's your first time. We're going to be making a card today with the Neat and Tangled set called You're a Treat. It's been one of my favorites for a long time, and I actually had some pre-stamped and pre-die cut images, so I'm going to use those. Which is very nice, because then I don't have to worry about my marker making it bleed. And then a sentiment from this smaller paper tray ink set that I've had for a long time as well. Then I have my card base, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I'll be using 2 of the Wonky Stitched Stacks dies, the rectangle ones from My Favorite Things, and this paper from Pumpkin Party Doodlebug Design paper pad. So I cut that out of the largest one, which is not 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, but a little bit smaller. And I'm just going to stick that down to the card base. And then I cut out a white one for our little witch scene in the next size down of the die. I was going to use a smaller one than this, but the sentiment wouldn't have fit across. And so I went with the bigger one. So I'm going to put this into my Misty so I can get a crisp, very black image on the sentiment. After the first time that I stamp it, I will show you it isn't very solid. So I want to go back in a second time, and I'm using my Pressure Pal to help. So you can see it's not too dark there. So I'm going to go in a second time. And I think I might have inked up the stamp a little too much. It's not super crisp. It definitely is darker, but it looked just fine. So we will put that away and set that aside for now. And then we are going to color in our cute little images here. I'll be using a mix of Copics. Those are my labeling methods for my Chow markers. And I'll be showing you which colors I am using if you're interested. And then also some of the Ohuhu brush set as well. I have the 72 Ohuhu brush set, but there's a bigger set of the brushes that I kind of want. It's awfully expensive for cheap markers. You get a lot of them. And one of the reviews said something like, there's 35 grays. Like, I don't need 35 grays. I know that I don't need it. I just really, really like the Ohuhu brush markers. I like the quality of them, the blending and everything. I have Copics. I don't need them. I just really like them. And I was hoping for more color blends, but I also don't want to be disappointed with how many grays there are in one set of markers, so I don't need them. I will think about it. But then I would need to sell my 72 set. So there's that. So I'm just using the darker, the YR07, I believe, to kind of give the pumpkin some lines. I didn't do very well. I was just trying to follow the little black lines for the curves that are already there to give like some dimension or texture to the pumpkin. I'm going to use W9 and W7 on the spider. I don't totally want to wipe out his little face, so I wanted something a little lighter. You can still see his face. You might not be able to see it here, but I can see it in person. It was a little lighter. And then I'm going to use C6 and C4 on the cat. I probably could have done a 3-color blend, and I probably should have. I believe I have C8, so I could have done that. But I just did the 2-color blend here. And then I just kept going over it. It was kind of a harsh line between the 6 and the 4. And so I kept just blending a little bit longer. Sometimes that's really all you need to do, is just keep blending over and over in one area. And it looks a little more stark on camera than it did when I did it. So I colored in his ears and his nose. I'll eventually use that same marker to give them cheeks to her and the cat. I also need the stamp set for the spider's web, like dripping down web. So I'll be stamping that onto the white panel. And I've been using my lavender blend for my purple over the purple blend lately. I've just liked it a little bit more often these days in the tri-blends. I still love the purple blend as well. I guess the lavender to me it doesn't really come off as lavender so much. It's still a good purple blend. It just doesn't look super lavendery to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm not very good at color. So I am doing her dress and her little cape and her hat all in the same purple. The tri-blends, a little bit because they're a nib tip versus like a brush tip. Sometimes the blending can be a little stark and it looks a little splotchy, but it's usually okay. And I'm generally coloring a relatively small image with it, so you can't really tell unless you look very closely. I'm using my Copic 0 pen a lot today because I'm going out of the lines. And then with the Ohuhu brush, the BR1 and BR2, really the only good brown combo that it has, or the only brown combo that it has in the 72 set, but it works really well for lots of things. I used it in a shelf in the cat Lawn Fawn Halloween card. It's really good for brown hair. It's great as a darker skin tone. It's just a really good blend. And then I realized in using the next three, I'm using BR3 and then 2Y markers for her skin. And BR3 is what I'm laying down right now. So BR1, 2, and 3 probably are a really good 3-color blend as well. I've just never used it in one area of an image that way before. But I figured the BR3 and then these two that I'm showing you, Y4 I think and then YR4, were really good for a skin tone 3-color combo. And then I didn't really have a plan for her shoes. I just randomly grabbed R7 in the Ohuhu set. And then R5. And it's just kind of like a magenta-y pink combo. I just really, really like the quality of the markers. I like how they feel. And the brush tip is just really, really good on these. That's why I'm tempted to get a larger set of them. I guess I don't know that I would have to get rid of my old set. I could just have more of them. I feel like I'm reaching for them more lately, especially in the last week or so. And I really like them a lot. So if you haven't tried the Ohuhu brush markers, I recommend them. I like them a lot. The 72 set or the larger set. So here I'm just using RV13 to make cheeks. And all you have to do is just kind of hold the tip down, and it's kind of like a colorless blender, a lighter color on a darker color. It just kind of bleeds out the darker color. And then I'm just using my salad Copic for the stem on the pumpkin because I love that green and the fact that it's called salad. But I just used the RV13 and just kind of held it there 4 times or so to get their cheeks. And then I'll end up adding white accents to those as well. So then we're going to stick down our white panel onto our Halloweeny orange background and then kind of lay out our scene. And the moon does look a little funky, but I'm showing you that is the position it's in on the stamp set. So I'm going to assume that's the position it's supposed to be in. It's just a funny moon shape. The spider web is going to go up in the corner, and then our little spider friend will be, it's kind of like the kitty cat is looking at him. I'm going to move these out of the way and just stamp the dripping spider web. And then put the spider over it, and then the web. I actually stamped it twice while it was on an acrylic block, and I actually lined it up properly the second time. I was very proud of myself because I wanted it to be darker. And then the spider will be on the very end of that, and then the web in the corner is going to cover up the end, a good chunk of the end of the string that I stamped. And then that will be that corner. If you've used art glitter glue and if you've used the Barely Arts glue, if you have used both of those, if you will let me know down below which one you prefer. The Barely Arts glue, people seem to like it. It is also very, very expensive, and I just don't want to pay that much. And here I'm just showing you in the art glitter glue. I don't mind getting it on my fingers because I can rub my fingers together in 3 seconds and have it, I promise my hands were clean, but I am touching paper and stuff like that. I can rub it and turn it into just, you know, put it right in the trash can. So there's that. It's very easy to get off of your skin is what I'm saying. I didn't have anywhere to tap my image, so I needed to rub it off of my fingers or put it on my finger. So I'm going to use my size 10 Jelly Roll pen and do some accenting white highlights. I always have to be very, very careful because I always manage to get my hand in white highlights that I have already done, and it smears them. And so I was just eyeballing and adding the little white dots to the pink cheeks, which is pretty cute. And then to kind of separate my spider, I'll go give him a little white accent there. So yeah, and then some more on the pumpkin. I'm not sure what I'm doing there. I'm sure that could have been done better. But thank you for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Bye.